Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of Build Your Salon Business Talk. Yes, every Tuesday night at 9 p.m., where we come in here, we share information with you. We give you tips, tricks, news, information, strategies, all kinds of business that you can incorporate into your lifestyle to make your lifestyle better, to make your business better, to see growth, all of that great stuff. And what we need you to do is hit that share button because we have some great. Wait a minute, I think I lost my pen. So get your pens together, get your paper together. You guys have seen that topic tonight. We have a chef and a plant-based magician. Magician. That was one of my words that I couldn't say. I'm a struggle with that tonight. So I need your help. When I get stuck, I need you to be able to help me, through this word. So I need you to participate and I need you to share it out and help me through this. But we're going to learn some things tonight. I am so excited to talk to her. Our platform is all about bringing on experts in different fields to give you the information that's going to positively affect your business now and in the future. And I just can't wait to discuss this with her. But before we get her on, I want to tell you a little bit about who I am. I know you're like, who's this lady? Lady up here giving me information. She told me I need to listen. I need to grab my pen. I need to grab my paper. But who is she? Well, I am ElishaMonique. I am your salon stylist coach, product development consultant, and salon business builder expert, partnering with salon owners and salon suite stylists to help you reestablish your back end structure so that together we could build a team, we could build a clientele, we can increase those retail sales, and possibly develop that hair product line, all while creating a scalable, profitable beauty business. And tonight, I have a special guest on here for you. But I do all of these things through my private mentorship, VIP mentorship program, or through the Salon Business Blueprint Club, where we have a library of resources for you. However, I have a guest waiting. We'll get more into the Salon Business Blueprint Club later on because my guest is here. I can't wait to chat with her. And by the way, do you see we have the same name? So this is going to be very interesting tonight, calling someone else by my exact name. So I am ElishaMonique, and without further ado, I want to bring on my guest. Hello, Elisha Williams. How are you?
Elisha, I am wonderful. How are you?
I am fine, Elisha. Yes. We're going to have
Very
some
fun.
fun with that tonight, guys, as you can see. But before we jump in, who are you? Who is Elisha Williams? Let us know who she is.
Okay, so I usually start this story by saying I was born on a cold, cold day in February, but we're gonna fast forward a little bit past that. So basically, I started a plant-based food business last October, and so I feel like I'm new to the business, but I'm moving right along and working really hard. And the mission of the business is to normalize plant-based eating, and I feel like that's important for everyone. And we'll get into why I think that's important in just a little bit. But before that, I was 15 years in IT. I was a project manager. I did business intelligence. I worked with databases, and
Wow.
life just put me on a different path. And so I'm just loving this new life that I have now.
That is
And
amazing.
yeah.
Yes, that is so amazing. Oh my God, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was listening to that how why
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
no.
It doesn't. So basically, growing up, becoming an adult, and like learning what works for me and what doesn't. I learned that eating meat and dairy wasn't good for me. And
Mm.
between I've always been petite, but the times that I did gain weight was when I was eating meat and dairy. The
Mm-hmm.
times when I had health issues that over time we just determined as we age we're just gonna have to deal with these things, they would go away when I
Right.
would stop meat and dairy. And then when I had children, being told by doctors you have to give them, dairy is the first thing, we have to obstacle have to get past. And then them both being diagnosed with asthma until
Mm-hmm.
I stopped dairy. And when I stopped them on all dairy, my children do not have asthma. But if they have dairy by the end of the day for one, and by after a couple of days the other is wheezing.
Oh
And
wow.
it's these things we have to figure out what works for us and what works for our family. And as little to no meat and dairy works for us. So over the years with the kids, I wanted to make sure that they would still have similar foods to what their friends were eating. And I still wanted to eat all my favorite foods. And
Right.
so I did a lot of experimenting. I did a lot of trial and error on plant-based products, on dairy-free products. And so I feel like now I have a lot of knowledge that I'd like to share to
Mm.
make it easier for other people to transition.
That is
And
so awesome. Yes, that is amazing. Oh my God. Did y'all hear that? Listen, listen. We got some questions tonight. Yes, we do. Because that was just a, I'm like, whoa. We went from an IT job to transitioning to plant based lifestyle for health reasons and becoming a chef just to better ourselves and our children's life. So that was an amazing story. First of all, I want to thank you for coming on tonight, for thanking you to spending a little time with us to share your journey in this transition. I'm interested to know a little bit more about it. So we have some questions lined up for you that we want to ask. We want to dig in. I want you guys also to comment your questions that you have. We want to be able to answer things that you probably been thinking about, not quite sure who to ask this to, or you've gotten an answer and your answer is a little questionable. We want to clear up some things for you tonight. So be sure that to comment your questions down in the box. We want to get you clarity tonight if you have been struggling with nutrition, overall, health overall.
yeah,
So here we go, Elisha.
what we
I,
doing, Elisha?
right? Our first question, right? So we're gonna jump into it. As beauty professionals, I must say we have some horrible eating habits. Like some of us try to eat good, and sometimes it is good, and sometimes that moment, that not even a moment, the meal when you fall off, you gotta figure out how to get back on again and kind of get that right flow again. But I want to ask you, as hairstylists and as being busy entrepreneurs, what are some of the ways that we can incorporate more healthy lifestyles into our business? Like, what are the benefits of reducing meat and getting rid of dairy? Can you share a little bit of that with us?
Yes. So I'm going to start with kind of explaining my experience and how I think it's pretty universal for most people in general. But I talked about having random health ailments, and they would get better when I didn't eat meat and dairy. And like being a hairstylist, you're on your feet a lot, and you're having to spend a lot of energy standing up and working with people, and even sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day, I'd be exhausted,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, it doesn't make sense. I'm not on my feet. I'm not working as hard physically as a hairstylist would be, but I'm still tired, and I'm having, that afternoon slump, and I can't afford to do that just as much as, in your profession, you can't afford to do that either.
Mm-hmm.
So, with eliminating meat and dairy, a lot of that, it would steady my energy level.
Mm.
So, because, we're known for being okay with the itis. That's just what happens after we eat. And that's
Right.
not the case. It doesn't have to be that way. But when our body is processing foods that really weren't made for us, but we know our bodies are miraculous at working with whatever we give it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything above poison, our body's gonna figure out, I'm gonna do something with it,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And we all eat all the stuff that looks like food, and we're like, yeah, I'm still going, but are you working well? Are you working optimally? Do you feel good? Can you work all day and not have that slump and need that caffeine and go through all that? So my philosophy is, when we eat meat and dairy, our body is working so hard to digest it, to figure out what to do with it, to figure out how to process it, that it doesn't give us a steady energy level, and it can't deal with other things that should be common. Like, you should just feel better. I know one thing for me was allergies.
Mm-hmm.
um at one point, I haven't been plant-based all my life, and one extreme point that I fell off the wagon, I had severe allergies, and I remember finally it got so bad that I had to go to an allergist and get a test. I remember my eyes were running constantly. I was stopped up all the time, all this mucus and sneezing and stuff in my face, and I just didn't want to think it was all that meat I was eating, because it was pretty tasty, so I didn't want
Right.
to say it was it.
It
But I
was.
remember when I called the office, and they said, well, you need to stop your antihistamine for 3 weeks. I said, y'all want me to die?
Mm.
Like, I can't do that. And I said, you know what? I'm playing. I am playing myself. Let me stop eating this crap, because they literally told me I can't take this medication that's keeping me breathing.
Mm.
And I knew for me what would work for me. So that,
Right.
not being a doctor, I'll tell you what worked for me. And I'd love for everybody else to try it too, because but there's enough documentaries out here. There's something to it. It is true. So I eliminated meat, I eliminated dairy, and by the time I went to my doctor's appointment, and this is the crazy thing, I wasn't having allergic reactions anymore.
Mm.
But listen to this, my allergies weren't gone. I got the allergy test of the day. I got the allergy award of the day. I had the most severe allergies that were tested that day. I was
Wow.
not any less allergic to anything when I called in misery to when I had that test.
Mm.
So the philosophy of my body can handle it
Right.
was
Right.
exactly what it was. So I'm still to this day allergic to every grass outside, every weed, dust. I'm allergic to mildly allergic to dogs. Like I'm allergic to all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I was when I took the allergy test. Just like I was when I was cutting up at the dinner table and in the drive-through and every other meal that I knew I shouldn't have been having. I'm still allergic to everything, but my body can handle it now.
Right.
So that's my little story on reducing meat and dairy intake. Is the majority of it's different for everybody. You
Mm-hmm.
know, some people, we say we're lactose intolerant, but for my kids, it wasn't lactose intolerance. It was literally affecting the respiratory system. So should I go through and try to figure this out and say, well, why? Well, the
Mm-hmm.
doctor wants me to do that, and let me see if I can go ahead and keep giving them dairy. And the thing is, once they get beyond a certain age, even with kids, they just kind of give up on that whole thing.
Right.
You know, wherever the recommendations drop off, it's no longer a concern and they're fine. But I ended up going to different doctors until I found one who agreed that said, you know what, let's go with common sense. If
Right.
giving them dairy throws them into asthmatic spasms, let's stop giving them
Stop
dairy and
giving them dairy. Right.
let's monitor this and make sure that as long as they're okay, then we'll just say they can't have dairy.
Right. Right.
You know? So
Wow.
so that's just figuring out what works, and it's miraculous what things work for different people when they do stop. Like I have a couple friends who have acid reflux,
Mm-hmm.
and going plant-based and eating my food that is sometimes spicy, that is full of tomatoes. I love tomatoes, so I cook with tomatoes,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that causes acid reflux.
It
But
does.
going on a plant-based diet, I've had at least 2 customers who say, you know what, I can eat your food. I don't have acid reflux. My acid reflux has reduced so drastically, I'm actually fine.
Mm.
But going back to eating meat, now their body can't handle it again, and now they're having reactions. So it's a gamut of it's just a list of what improvements that different people tell me about
Mm-hmm.
once they eliminate the meat and dairy that's just not good for their system to work so hard to break down.
Right. Right. I love that. I love that. Yes. So I'm gonna just put this out there. You may not know this about me, Elisha, but some of my audience do. So I've been a vegan now for quite some time. I actually stopped counting,
Okay.
and I don't have dairy in my system. I don't even know last time I had dairy, honestly. And my hardest thing to get rid of when it comes to dairy. Now, you guys chime in, give me the thumbs up if this is you, if you're thinking about trying to get rid of dairy. And the one thing that you like, I can't let go, is cheese.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was the hardest thing to just let that go. I'm like I can let go milk. I really wasn't drinking milk anyway unless it came to cooking different things, but to let go the eggs, I'm like, okay, we got to just find a replacement for it, but it was the cheese because everything is just covered with cheese, mozzarella, parmesan, reggiano. Come on guys, I know you guys agree.
Macaroni.
What? A nice cheesy layer
Baked
on top.
macaroni. Like
Mm.
your cousin Pinky makes at the Thanksgiving dinner. You only get once a year, and it's got pet milk in it. It's got sharp cheddar in it. It's got eggs in it. It's got
Yes.
everything in it, and we just can't wait to get it.
Exactly.
What do we do,
Exactly.
right?
Right. So what do we do in that case? If we need to remove the cheese, what can we replace it with? Give us one little tip that we can do cuz that's a lot of people struggle. I think they could let the milk go because there's so much talk now about almond milk, but it's the cheese factor.
Okay. So the first thing is to go into this with an open mind and the determination and the confidence that you will do better without meat and dairy.
Mhm.
So we have to take it that that's the most important thing first. Second, no, it's a cheese substitute. It's a substitute. So it's not going to be exactly like cheese. So knowing that it's better for you and then taking the time to try out different cheeses to see what works for that cheese fix. So one thing to do for wanting cheese is, for example, okay, grilled cheese sandwiches. You know, there are
Yes.
lots of slices of deli cheese that taste awful if you were to take them out the package and do this.
Mm.
You're not. But guess what? If you melted in a grilled cheese sandwich, you might get your fix that way.
Right.
So it's trying it in different ways because I see people that will that'll say, oh well, let me try that, or see me because I used to have Sunday dinners where I would have family and friends come over,
Mm-hmm.
and 30 minutes before they got there, I would make a plant-based meal and say, look, I made this in 30 minutes, and they would say, wow, it's great. The kids are eating it up, and then they would say, well, what'd you put in this? Can I see the package? And it might be some cheese, and they would say, oh, I don't like this because you didn't cook it.
Right.
How many foods
Right.
don't taste good till we season it or do what we need to do to it? So, so my thing is have fun with it and experiment. And there are decent cheeses on the market.
Right.
So it depends on what you want to do with it. For cheese, don't try to eat it cold.
Right. That was my worst mistake. Listen, y'all. I did it. I'm piggybacking off of it, but I did it. Literally bought it home. Was like, I want to see what it tastes like. And you guys know out there, if you're eating cheese, if you go and buy a slice of boar's head, you will eat it regularly on a slice. You don't need bread. You don't need any of that. You'll fold it up and you're. Well, I did that actually with the plant-based cheese. I just held it in my
Mm-hmm.
mouth and had no idea what to do with it.
Yeah,
But when I took it and you maneuver it or
cook it. That's my
cook it
tip.
up,
Cook
right,
it. Cook
melt
it.
it,
Fry
put
it
it
in
in different
fry it in
things,
pans. Yep.
right. I was like, okay, cheese, I see you. Okay, all right.
Okay, so let's talk about the experimenting. So I have a macaroni and cheese that I fashioned after. Remember, I told you about Cousin Picky making that macaroni and
Uh
cheese.
huh.
That's what everyone wanted at Thanksgiving dinner was Cousin Picky's macaroni and cheese. So in her honor and in that spirit, I said, "Oh, I've got to make a replacement for this."
Right.
So I did it, and I used one brand of cheese, and people liked it, right?
Mm
And then I had actually a sales rep come to me and say, "Well, would you try our cheese?" And I was like, "Nope, I'm good.
hmm.
People like this one." So one day she gave me so much cheese, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. So then I had a couple other chefs that were in the kitchen. I said, I need y'all to taste test both of these cheeses.
Mm hmm.
It was the exact same recipe, except I did a different shredded cheddar in each one. And
Mm
so it
hmm.
turned out the newer one was better. The second brand was better. And so
Wow.
that's what you have to make it fun.
Right.
So you can't go into it with stress, okay?
Right.
And say, you know what? Oh my gosh. And let me tell you about cheese. Cheese has addictive properties in it. It has casein and ingredients in it that actually do make you addicted to it. So realize it is going to be hard to get off of cheese.
Mm
So
hmm.
that's why you have to understand that it's more important how you feel than, your taste buds initially, because once you find that substitute, I have a lot of people that eat lots of my food and say, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't know.
Right.
And that's because I love what I do and I have fun with it. I really love recreating recipes and trying new things. And even when I think I've got it right, I'll still open to trying something different because I tried a whole nother cheese and now I'm like, I gotta go to Publix. I don't like Publix because ain't nothing worth it getting in there but BOGOs. And now I gotta go to Publix because they're the only ones that have this cheese. So
Right.
it's really just experimenting and having fun with it and cooking and then trying new things. And that's the fun of it. You have to make it part of your entertainment.
Yes.
Because let me
Yes.
figure out how I'm gonna do this.
Yes.
You know,
I love it. Yes, I love it. So you guys see, you can let cheese go. It's okay. We give you the thumbs up to just go ahead on and let it go. Like Frozen, just let it go. I can't sing, so
I'm not gonna sing either, Elisha.
y'all got the idea of what we talking about with the dairy product. So now we discussed a little bit about the effects of meat and we discussed the effects of dairy and things like that. How can this affect our immune system? What does it do to that? How can it build it up? First of all, how does it affect it? And then if letting it go, how can we build up our immune system?
Okay, so it's the same concept of what is our body doing when we're eating all this meat and cheese? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but it stresses it out. Because when we stop doing it, stop stressing it out, we have these health issues that go away. So my philosophy is the same thing with the immune system. When your body's not bogged down, it can work on your immune system. Your immune system is going to work better. So one is, just giving your body a break and
Mm-hmm.
realizing that, hey, when my body's not stressed out, it operates better. So that also includes your immune system is going to operate better. So that's why it's also important to be careful what we put in on just a regular day-to-day basis so that we're not bogging down our system so that our immune system is not working at its, optimal. as best we can.
Mm-hmm.
But then we can even enhance how our immune system is functioning by taking supplements. So my favorite right now is elderberry syrup. Do you know about elderberry? I have
I
a feeling you do.
do. I like the tea.
Okay, so what's up with the tea? I've never had the tea, so tell me
It's
about
just like a instant tea, but I like the spread, the jelly spread too. Put it on some bread. Yeah, I like all of that. It's not okay. Let me state this, guys, because I know you probably like, what is the elderberry? I'm used to the regular grape jelly, the strawberry, Welch's, things like that. So, the elderberry to me has a different taste. It's like transitioning from a traditional dairy cheese to a vegan cheese. I want to say that.
yeah.
So, first of all, get your taste buds together. It's not going to be that Welch's grape jelly type spread,
Right.
and get your fanciness on when you use it. So, the tea, to me, it has some type of sweet properties, but it's not sweet enough for me. So, I put a little honey in there because I want to add
Okay.
it a little bit more. But I do like the actual elderberry, like when you grind it up and it's a spread and you put it on like the bread or something like that. So those are my two ways that I like to drink it. Mostly it's the tea. I just grab an elderberry tea bag. It's fresh. Put it
Hmm.
in some water, put a little honey in it, and keep it moving throughout the day. So in essence, guys, this will replace those syrupy, sugary drinks that you like,
Yeah,
right?
filling what you do every day with something that's going to help your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that because I'm going to try the tea. So the way I do elderberry is there's actually a lady at the kitchen who makes organic elderberry syrup.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take the syrup and I actually have converted it into a cake. So I have a cake with elderberry in it. It's
Oh
elderberry in
wow.
the cake and in the icing. So I make an elderberry cake and I make my latest another cake. It's not my latest, but a black cake which has elderberry and activated charcoal in it.
Hmm.
So I try to help people by things that they would normally do and normally eat
Mm-hmm.
by either making them meat and dairy free, first of all, and then second of all, adding additional health boosters into it. So, elderberry, I think, is something that people should consider adding to their diet to help boost their immune system. Do you know anything about sea moss?
Sort of. I started to looking at. I see everyone's taking it. First of all, that's all.
Okay.
Really, all I know. Everyone is taking it, and it's the go-to magic potion right now. And that's about as far as I got into that.
So yeah, well, I've recently gotten into it because I had a phobia of sea moss.
Mm-hmm.
Because one day when I was a kid, I went to the beach and apparently it was seaweed or something washed up and it smelled awful. And then I heard about sea moss, I don't know, a year or two ago, and I was like, oh, it's healthy. I need it. I'm gonna take it. It's healthy. I don't care. I'm gonna eat it. And so I bought some powder, and it tasted like that dirty beach smelled.
Oh,
And I
flashback.
never took it again. I was like, oh no. Oh no, I can't. It's healthy, but this is one thing I cannot do. And listen, all you have to do is tell me it's healthy. I'll drink it, I'll eat it, I'll try it. And I couldn't do the sea moss until I had someone make it locally. And
Mm.
so when someone made it locally, the flavor was actually really, really mild. And so what I've read about sea moss is that it has X number, really, really high of the number of minerals we have. And that's one thing that sometimes we, need to support our body is we're mineral deficient.
Mm-hmm.
So it could help to have additional minerals. So it's also just supporting your system with things that it needs. So, elderberry is one I'm looking into and doing a little more with sea moss. But there are other immune supplements like garlic. If I ever feel anything coming on, I take garlic tablets, and that usually knocks it out. Oregano oil is a natural antibiotic. Copper is antiviral, antimicrobial, antibacterial. And there's a study that shows that the coronavirus cannot live on copper more than a few hours. And we know that we've been hearing that the coronavirus lives a long time
Right, on
on
everything,
all kinds of
everywhere.
stuff. Yeah. And there's
Wow.
documentation it cannot live on copper. So copper water bottles, copper straws. I have copper tongue scrapers. But there's lots of little things. Like when we look up, you can just literally Google how to boost your immune system and trust yourself and have fun with it and say, oh, I'm gonna try this today. Because I really thought it was fun when I tried the sea moss, because the lady who made it,
Mm-hmm.
I finally bought some from her, and I was like, I texted her, I was like, look, I'm about to try this sea moss. You don't understand how serious this is. Will you go on live with me and help me take the sea moss? And I told her the backstory, and I said, look, I don't know how this is gonna turn out because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna fix my face. If if this is not
Right.
good, I don't know what I'm gonna do. She's like, go ahead, it's okay, it's okay. But nevertheless, just having a positive attitude about it and not
Right.
letting myself be stressed out about it. I was on there fanning myself like, okay, I'm gonna try to see about, but it's all in fun. It's all because I know
Right.
it's good for me. So I'm always open to trying new things. And so, whatever the list is, whatever you like, do it because it's better to make the effort and try than to
Mm-hmm.
sit around and kind of be like, there's nothing I can do. I'm just gonna
Right. I'm just
be
gonna take this medicine and I'm gonna die one day, right? When
when
we
we
can,
when we're kind of sick.
right.
And but yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I agree. I love that. Yeah. So just a brief recap for you guys who are just now tuning in. We are talking with Elisha Williams, chef and plant-based magician. We are going over we talked about ways to reduce or get rid of dairy and meat out of our diet for health reasons. You can get rid of asthma and other things that you have just by removing some of the things that you're currently eating, or try reducing, because sometimes that whole removing thing, it's a mind thing and you're not ready. So start reducing and just weeding it out altogether. We discussed a little bit about building our immune system, and I like the fact that we talked about different minerals and supplements that we can take in order to help that boost. We discussed about sea moss, we discussed about elderberry, taking garlic tabs, copper. So if you're looking for ways to boost your immune system right now, especially the situation that we're in, and you're looking for a way to get a little bit better, you're standing on your feet especially, you need all the healthcare benefits. So you're going into the salon, you're going to be working consistently. Try incorporating some of these supplements and some of these meal options and varieties that we've mentioned into your diet, maybe early in the morning, so that throughout the day, bringing your lunch with you also, you don't continue on these bad eating habits, because you want to have that energy while you stand behind the chair. You want to be able to service your clients throughout the day and not feel like you're exhausted halfway through the day and you still got 3 4 more clients to go. So let's move in. If you guys also have any questions, you see I got my pens handy. I've been taking some notes and jotting some things down. I hope that you are doing exactly the same. If you have any questions, please comment your questions down below. We want to be sure that we clarify some things. If you're not quite sure what to do, how to go about it, or you've tried some things and they work, share it with us as well. So if you tried some great ways to build your immune system, let us know. This platform
Oh
is
yeah.
all about sharing. We want to know. We're all into staying around for a long time for our families and doing the things that we love. So share some of your experience with us. So we're going to jump into our next question, because you mentioned something a little bit earlier about having reducing dairy, taking care of your immune system, and things like that also reduces stress. Um, as stylists, we probably stress a lot and don't even know we're stressing as we're working through the day, because you're trying to get to the next client, or get out of the salon, or get to the salon, or just get through your day. We have those mild daily stresses. Can you tell us how stress in eating and can affect us as women, as humans? How can we reduce some of our stress by the foods that we eat?
Okay. So let's talk about stress for a minute. Like, one of the reasons why when we sit and say, well, how did you go from IT to being a plant-based chef? And the
Mm-hmm.
answer is stress. I was in IT for 15 years and they were moving me towards, management, and my job became more hiring and firing than it was actually helping people
Mm-hmm.
or doing anything creative. And I would come up with ideas and say, let me help you fix this system. I can make this person's job easier. And that became less and less my job.
Mm.
And it was more, no, just manage other people and kind of manage the situation or this process, but not do any improvements. And I was like, to me, that was stressful.
Right.
That was stressful because I wasn't allowed to be helpful. I wasn't allowed to do the things that fulfill me. And so the stress made me physically ill.
Mm.
And so I actually didn't work for 6 months last year. It was over a period of time, a lot of life happened,
Mm-hmm.
and boil it, a lot of it down to stress. It was, my own personal stress. Maybe somebody else could do it, but for me, it was just like sucking my soul. I couldn't do it anymore. So I had to figure out what was I gonna do.
Uh-huh.
And one thing I always liked to do that I knew wasn't stressful is I love to feed my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to explain the magician part of my self-professed title.
Right.
So
We want to
so in
hear it.
feeding my yeah. So Elisha, let me tell you about it.
Yes.
When talking about feeding my friends, everybody knows about being plant-based. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are really, really curious about it, but letting go of some of the favorite foods is pretty tough. So one thing I wanted to do was say, okay, let me go down the list. Give me your favorite food and let me figure out how to make it better, how to make it into a product that everyone would love to eat. And at the end of the day, you're just looking at it as this is good food. And you're like, wait, there's no meat in it? Wait, there's no dairy in it? Yeah, like it's just good food. So that's part of the magician part is that I've actually make my own line of meats and cheeses that are and the meats, well, it's cheese sauce right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the meats are actually very, very realistic. I've had people argue with me and tell me, no, that was meat. I've had people tell me the steak is the best, the biggest carnivore. This is the best steak I've had in my life, period. And I'm like, thank you. And and so people will say, how do you do it? And I'm like, it's plant-based magic. Like
Right.
literally, I just became determined that that's what I wanted to do. I have fun doing it. And I just do a lot of research and I see what other people do. And I'm like, you know what? I think I can do this better. So it's reasonably magic. Like if you guys look on my Instagram at Zen Foods Atlanta, you're gonna see some things that you're gonna say that has to be meat. And I'm gonna tell you it's not. And all I can tell you how I do it is because I'm a plant-based magician.
Right. I love that. Yes. Yes. Make that magic, girl.
Yeah. So the stress was like, we find our purpose in life
Mm-hmm.
and what builds us up. Like sometimes we have to go back to that. And so I actually want to hear a little bit about, being a hairstylist and getting to be creative because I was in such an analytical field for so long. And because I am a talker and I do have an analytical mind and I'm pretty, far on both sides as far as being a people person and being technical, so with having that kind of career that's creative, like how is stress managed in your field,
Well, it's a little different. Sometimes it can be stressful when you're dealing with so many different personalities in one day.
Okay.
So, we all come with a personality. We all come with here's me, here's how I am, here I am for the day. Take me do my hair. And you're literally dealing with personality after personality all day long and you're so involved, well not involved. You become to know your clients. So you can pick up those senses of your clients sometimes when they come in and get a sense of what their day is like. And you're literally bouncing from person to person, personality to personality, their stress to your stress. As much as I try not to have someone else's stress rub off on me because we're over them, where our hands are in them, it trickles off in some type of way. So we may carry some stress and not even know we're carrying it just because we're so involved with this person for a number of hours.
Okay.
So it's not really, I wouldn't even say it's like a transfer of stress. And then at the times, if things are not going right when it comes to the process that you're doing in the hair, or color isn't coming out the way you was expecting it, and those are taking a little bit longer. So those are our technical stresses that we deal with.
Yeah.
So being in the industry myself for over 18 years, I know what they are, and I know how to deal with them as they come. And for me, I just try and step back. Like I can tell if my client's gonna come in and it's a stressful day for her. I keep my
Mhm.
conversation to a minimum. I'm gonna let
Gotcha.
her deal with this. You would deal with whatever she's dealing with. Give her the utmost customer experience, and I will see her later.
Yeah.
And when she
Yeah.
come back in, she's happy. We like, yes. So how's the kids? How's going on? Like
Yeah.
we're more in a positive, vibe. Even the ones that are coming that are maybe a little bit stressed out themselves, I still might talk a little bit, but talk a little bit on the positive side to get their mind off of wherever they were before they came in, to just put them in a better spot, and then they can leave in a better place. But I usually keep my conversations to the minimum. If I see they stressed out and they're on the phone and da 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 da, I just let them be, service them, and I'm not
Yeah.
carrying that. Not today. I'd be like, not today. I'm not taking it. I don't want it. I'm not. It
Yeah.
has to stay
Yeah.
here.
You choose what you interact with, right? You're like, okay.
Exactly.
And that
Exactly.
makes sense. So what I would say about that is, I'm sure. So one way to say it is sometimes it's hard to stay grounded around different energies, right?
Right.
If
Right.
someone is stressed, it's easy to kind of, you know, take that on ourselves, especially as women, especially if we're empaths and we kind of want to be have empathy towards other people, and we sometimes take on their stress. So
Mm-hmm.
with being grounded, one thing because I think you said you just take a minute sometimes, or you take a
Right.
moment. And so one thing I would probably recommend is to look into meditation
Mm-hmm.
and some breathing exercises.
I do.
And so there's some apps you can download and things
Mm-hmm.
you can do and just take a few minutes. I remember one particular job where it was stressful, and I decided that it didn't matter how late I was, they could wait 10 more minutes. And every day before I got out of my car, I would turn the radio off, I would turn that app on, listen to that babbling brook, and I would sit and be quiet with my eyes closed for 10 minutes before I walked in that building. And that would help me to stay grounded through the time where it sounds like you're describing, where you're having to deal with different people and different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
It took me as long as I when I made it a priority to gather myself first, and that quiet time let me gather myself. And it's funny, like that 5 or that 10 minutes would change my whole day.
Yes, the best 10 minutes of your day, of your week sometimes, because sometimes you might not grab it as great.
Hmm.
Like other days, it could be 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, but it's like that 10 minutes of greatness. You in that 5 minutes, we like, oh shoot, I gotta go. You can think back to that
Yeah,
10 minutes of wonderful experience, and you're like, okay, I'm good. What is it that we're getting? Like you can move on because you're remembering, that moment that you have. Yes. So I definitely love that. That's a wonderful tip. Um, to just take a moment out and to just sit with yourself and just be with yourself and have that time before you jump into someone else. Another thing that you guys can do, I've done this literally when things are crazy or you're feeling like the energy is low because you're amongst so many people that are stressing that you gotta find a pick me up for yourself. And I seen this. It was one commercial that I was watching, and the girl sits in the car and she play all of this music, and she's like dancing and jumping around, and she's filling herself with all this high energy. And she's get out. She's like, "Hey y'all!" They like, "Why are you so happy?"
uh
Because she
huh,
just filled herself with like a lot of positive energy that everyone around her is like, "Why is she so happy? What's wrong with her?" So I love that too. So not even sometimes a calming moment is good, but when you have so many people back to back and it seems like everybody is stressed, I'm like, let me flip it. Instead of
yeah,
being
yeah,
calm, let me go upbeat and go the opposite way because everybody's going down. I need to go up for a little bit. Um,
yeah,
so that's a great way also to kind of change that energy that's going on between you and other people and keep it from rubbing off and make you be someone else that's different at that moment in their day. So those are really great advice, great tips that you shared there. If you guys have any questions, also please comment your questions. What is it that you do? So now you're a chef and you're to the plant based when things aren't working right for you. Okay, so
hmm,
you've created this meat, right? And I'm pretty sure as you're creating this, something went wrong in the beginning.
oh yeah.
How did you deal with that moment of not giving up and just continuing on until you get the results that you want?
Yeah, I think it's really about, because now I feel like I'm working in my passion. It's a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's just a split decision where it's like, okay, am I going to let this stress me out, or is this just part of the process? So
Right.
when we sit and about being successful in business and in life, no one's story was I was born, had all the love I ever needed, every resource that I wanted, I was successful in life, I had, and then I died. Like that's nobody's story.
Right.
People's story is I went through this. Oh my gosh, I tried this 10 times before I got it. I went through this stressful period. I overcame this. And so just realizing it's all part of the journey, and that success story is going to have those hills and valleys. And when we're going through that valley, to realize this is all part of it. And sometimes you can look at it and say, oh, I'm in that valley. Is actually a sign that you're going to be successful,
Mm-hmm.
because no one's story of success is like everything was fine and then I was successful. And that's nobody's story. Everybody
Right.
comes up with like, let me tell you, you don't understand the number of times I cried on the way to the kitchen by myself. And when I left, I cried some more. And why was I crying? I don't know, but that was part of it. It was just life, and I was by myself, and I was quiet. And it's like, but you're so happy, you're so upbeat. But it's like I felt what I felt when I felt it, and that's okay.
Right.
And being okay with the process and
Right.
accept that it's all part of it.
Right.
So, and I'll tell you, the meat was actually. So you hear people talk about some of the greatest inventions, and they say, "Oh, it was a mistake," right?
Mm-hmm.
So the chicken and steak came out of failed efforts to make a Thanksgiving tofurkey. You've had a tofurkey,
Yes.
where it's the fake meat,
Right.
and when you slice it open, there's fake dressing in it.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And so I was like, this is gonna be my first project. I've never made a meat project in my life, and I'm about to go and make a better tofurkey. And I'm gonna market it for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving came, I didn't have it.
Uh-oh.
Christmas came, I didn't have it. But guess what came out of it? It's this fantastic meat substitute. That's the chicken and the steak. So in the middle of me going through it, realizing I've just got to keep trying. I've just got to keep going. And I had a lot of fails. And I had to tell myself this is all part of it.
Right.
If I were to sit and say, "Oh, I was successful my first time I tried. Everything I did, it worked out exactly the first time." And I had to realize that's life. That's how life works. You're not going to be successful the first time. You're going to have mess ups. And some of those mess ups may be exactly what works for you.
Exactly.
And so just understanding that that's part of the process, and then even putting appreciation to it. So I'm gonna tell another quick little story. When I was going through a particularly stressful point in my life, and I couldn't get past depression and anxiety and all that, I said, well, I need to reprogram my brain. And so I was like, I'm going to learn how to meditate. So I went and took a meditation class.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that the meditation teacher told me that stuck with me is she says, in life, we learn our lessons with a brick or a feather. And so she said, when you go through the same things over and over again, you're choosing to learn those lessons with a brick.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to learn it with a feather. And
Right.
to me, that feather is realizing there's going to be valleys and saying, you know what, thank you. It's fine. This is how I'm going to grow. This is how I'm going to get to the next level. And so at that point, what could have been a brick, I'd rather turn it into a feather. And so I'm like, yep, I was expecting it. It's not always going to be good. I'm going to be tired. I'm not going to feel good. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to drop that whole lasagna on the floor. I'm going to, get the cheap containers because I'm trying to save money, and then it falls. And like all this stuff. And I'm going to burn the cake sometimes. And just realizing that's all part of it, and saying, you know what, I'll take the feather.
Right.
Because guess I can make this work, because I don't have to make this delivery until this day, and let me just problem solve and make this work. Yes, there's enough time for me to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I have that feather attitude,
Mm-hmm.
even let me see what happened yesterday. So yesterday, this is what happens every week. So I cook on like Thursday, Friday, and now it's bled over into Saturday. And then I do deliveries and pickups on Sunday. Then I do shipments on Monday. And so yesterday, every week I'm like, oh, I got this. I'm almost done. And I'm not almost done.
Something
and I'm
happens.
A whole nother day. I'm cooking a whole other day. And then yesterday I was like, oh, I'm going to get up early. Let me see, I was up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I had my list. I was so proud because I actually made a list. I only have 5 things to do, and I'm going to be ready to ship. Let me tell you, my children are my best employees, because we were all packing boxes, double checking orders, and zipping down the road to make it to do the last drop off at 7:55. And then my daughter locked the keys in the car, and I had to do another delivery 45 minutes away, and I was already had postponed this delivery 2 or 3 times, and I felt that brick coming.
Mm.
And I was like, you know what, it's not. And I had to talk to my daughters and tell them, like, look, they're like, are you upset? Because the one who locked the keys in the car, are you upset? I said, no.
Right. Throw that brick away. Throw that brick away and find a feather real fast. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I said, I want you to think about how I'm handling this.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get frustrated and you get upset, and I'm gonna ask you, what good does it do?
Right.
And she said, nothing, Mom. And I said, that's right. So we can take this and say, oh my gosh, this is terrible. What's gonna happen? And then it's almost like it's a snowball effect. It keeps going because that's what you decided.
Mm-hmm.
You decided it was a brick, so now it is brick.
Right. It's a heavy one,
So,
big one.
Yeah.
And now it's a boulder.
Yeah, I could have been upset. It took AAA an hour. If I would have called that customer and said, oh my gosh, I'm behind on your order again, I'm so sorry. And I said, my daughter locked the keys in the car. Are you okay with me delivering about 9:30? If you're not, I'll mail it to you. I'll get it to you. And literally that energy comes back.
Right.
And so it's just like accepting that things aren't always going to work out. And I'm trying to set an example for my daughters and show them, like, yeah, guess what? Life is going to be tough.
Right, right.
And
So
being
I,
able,
I I know creating this business, this plant-based lifestyle has been tough for you, and it has been a journey. And we're making our own meat. So we're located in Atlanta, right?
yes, Atlanta, Georgia. I work
Okay.
at a bigger commercial kitchen. Yep.
Okay, awesome. So give us a little bit on how can we get some of this? Because some of us out here, we're considering transition. We want to try something different. We're not quite sure. We discussed this magical chicken steak thing. I've been thinking about that. I'm like, what's a chicken steak? I think I want to taste that. I'm
Well, it's
already
two
vegan,
separate
so
things.
I'm
Yeah.
open. I'm open to
Yeah.
trying, different meats. The tofu turkey, I know 100% what that is. I have that on a holiday, so I'm like, she got a steak. That's the part that caught me because I don't know when the last time I had a steak. Probably not since I actually had a steak is when I
Yeah.
had a steak. So,
No one makes steak, but
right,
that's my goal. It's like, what's everyone's favorite food? Let me see if I can fix it. You
right.
know?
So, give us a website. What's a website? How can we see what we got? How can we try some different things?
Okay. ZenFoodsAtlanta.com is my website. And on the website, you can do, there's weekly meal prep. And so I do weekly meals for people. I actually, by request, and sometimes it's on the site, I'll do half sizes for smaller portions.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are worried about portion control, I have kids' meals. And so the kids get some of the same thing adults get. They get mixed in things. Sometimes they get nachos, sometimes they get pizza. And so it's like, and in that case, it's almost getting ahead of the crazy. It's like with us all working from home and changing our schedules to
Mm-hmm.
have plant-based meals on hand so that we're staying out of the drive-through, that we have something quick and healthy that we can grab. That's why I'm doing the meal prep, because that's what I needed. Even in my job, I was like, by the time you get hungry and 1 or 2 o'clock rolls around, you're trying to order Uber Eats, and by that
Right.
time you $30 and you're eating crap, and we pay for that later in the day.
Right.
So I have the meal prep. I do have the meats and cheeses for sale. Instagram is where I do a lot of my social media. Is on Instagram. I'm Zen Foods Atlanta on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I need to work a little bit better on Facebook. Things transfer automatically to Facebook, but I'm Zen Foods Atlanta on Facebook. I'm Zen Foods Atlanta on LinkedIn. I did a good job. I got like Zen Foods Atlanta on everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys can find her anywhere on any of these social media streets as Zen Foods with an S Atlanta.
The Atlanta is important because there is a Zen Foods in California.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Zen Foods Atlanta.
Okay, so Zen Foods Atlanta. Make sure you guys put that Atlanta in. That way you can find her on Instagram. And if you spend a lot of time on Instagram, I'm pretty sure you got some foods in your stories. If y'all questioning, like, I don't know about this on the website, and you want to get more in detail and actually see a plated meal and, to see some different dishes, check out her Instagram at Zen Foods Atlanta. Check out the stories, check out the pages, read the reviews, because I'm a huge fan of reading the comments. I want to see what people say. If the foods are
Yep.
tasty, delicious, and you're questioning it, always read the comments. If not, reach out to her as well. You can find Elisha Williams, chef and plant-based musician at zenfoodsatlanta.com, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those great avenues. Is there any last words you want to say before we kind of wrap it up? Any last tips that we need to know about being plant based?
Well, it's just to make it stress free with no judgment. So the goal is for everyone to eat better and to feel better. I did want to throw in that I do. It's still, even though I'm based in Atlanta, I ship nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
So I have customers all over the country. So there's no limitation, and I like talking to people. People message me, and I talk to them, and that's all part of it. There is a plant-based challenge, 28-day plant-based challenge that's going to start in June. If you haven't already, subscribe to my mailing list. When you go on the website, there's a pop-up, and there's also a link that'll say Plant-Based Bully Challenge. So feel free to connect with me any of those ways, and I look forward to talking to everyone.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay, I need everyone to go do the plant based challenge. Just get in your mind, like, for 30 days, I'm going to try this, right? Just 30 days. That's all you got. That's not a lot of time. Think about what you were eating and doing 30 days ago. Think about what you were eating and doing 30 days before that, and before that, and before that. All that great stuff. So 30 days is not a long time for you guys to go ahead on and commit to creating a better lifestyle for yourself. And For me, I'm gonna just put this little in there. For me, going vegan, it was always that I can go vegan, let me try it, and if I don't like it, it's not that hard to go buy a pack of chicken. It's right there. But if I try it and I like it, I'll just push past that area and I'll watch everyone else pick out their meat because I feel better about my body and about myself now. That was my whole thing going vegan and stuff like that. I'm like, it's not that hard to go and buy a pack of chicken, season it up, put it in the oven, but I'm going to commit to give this a try. So if you guys are out there thinking about how can you give this a try, this is a great way. So jump in a challenge, give it a try, see what it's all about. Get some further education on how you can switch different favorite foods that you like that you know are not healthy for you for some other plant-based options. Like we mentioned earlier, just try it and see. And like I also mentioned, it's not that hard to go and buy a pack of chicken if you decide to quit. But you gotta try first. Like commit to trying it out, to seeing how better you feel, how improved your skin gets. That's another thing. You're like, what's wrong? My skin is flawless because you cut out the dairy. Sorry, I had to put that out there because you stopped the dairy. But Elisha Williams, we had a great time talking to you. You shared so much information tonight. We look forward to jumping in on that challenge. You guys have been wonderful. We taking great notes. You guys head on over to Zen Foods Atlanta on Instagram,
Facebook.
Facebook.com, all the other great stuff. Sign up for the plant-based, what is it called? The challenge? I clearly forgot.
The plant-based bully
There you
28-day
go.
challenge.
Plant-based bully, plant-based challenge. Go ahead on and sign up for that challenge so you can get started on June 1st. So you got some time, so go ahead on and get all your junk foods. You probably went to the grocery store. Just eat it all. So that way you could just jump in a challenge fresh and clean and you won't feel like you're throwing any food away. Because I know sometimes you're like, I'm not throwing this food away. I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat it after the challenge. No, just eat it now. That way you can jump in a challenge with a clean pantry.
You have permission. Go for
it. Right. So thank you very much. I appreciate you. Is there any other last words you want to throw in there? Anything else we missed?
That's it. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I feel like we have a connection. We had a moment. We're like, wait, we're both Aquarius.
Right.
We're both named Elisha. Thank you so much for having me on.
Right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for tuning in. All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping in with us. Thank you for coming in. I hope we learned a lot tonight. We've learned about how to transition from having just so much dairy in our life to the benefits of how we would feel and how our bodies would react if we just remove just a little bit of it for a better lifestyle. That was a wonderful talking to Elisha Williams today. You guys have been great, giving me the thumbs up, giving me the hearts. Don't forget to go ahead on and share this out. Somebody else is probably struggling and need to figure out this plant-based lifestyle. So go ahead on and share that out and help another fellow professional out there, because we're all in this together. We all stand on our feet all day long. We all work on our clients, and we all need to take care of our health so that we can continue to take care of our clients. And speaking of taking care of our clients, I take care of all my clients inside of the Salon Business Blueprint Club. It's a membership platform where you have an access to a digital library of courses and resource material that you can use to grow a better salon business. This is great if you're a new salon business, if you've already in existence and you need help on figuring out your next step. If you're already at your next step and you don't know that next step, you have help in there as well. And on that platform, I am your personal coach, guiding you through this journey, helping you get to wherever you're trying to get through. We do this through our Q&A calls. We do this through our live sessions in there where we really get down to business. We bring guest experts in there to give you the tools and resources that you need that's going to improve your business. Head on over to buildyoursalonbusiness.com. That's buildyoursalonbusiness.com. Once again, that's buildyoursalonbusiness.com, and allow me, your coach, to help you start building a better salon business today. Once again, Build Your Salon Business Talk airs every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we bring you a special guest, and you never know what we may be talking about, to share with you, to pour in your business, to help you get to your next level. So until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. at Eastern Standard Time, you know the deal. I'll talk to you soon.